And we're very lucky to have a pioneer in terms of health technology in Belfast joining us this morning. So next I'm going to hand over to Roisin Molloy. Roisin is the CEO and founder of TriMedika. And Roisin, the floor is yours to tell us the wonderful story of how TriMedika has grown and is flourishing in our city. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Simon. I'm just getting loaded up here. Everybody see that okay?
Yes, all good.
Okay, so thanks very much for the introduction, Simon. And I'm taking this, this presentation is a little bit different. I'm looking at the business and how we've developed the business, just to give you an insight on how you get from nothing to a medical device company selling internationally. So I'm Roisin Molloy and I'm the CEO of TriMedika. And really how we get started, we started with an idea. So we have been described as two women in a cupboard. So myself and one of the other co-founders who had we'd previously worked together in another role, and we decided to set up the company because we saw a niche in the market way back, way long before COVID even got there. And it was a product, a very simple product, but something that could affect the level of infection in hospitals, give cost savings to hospitals, and also give time back to nurses. But the two women in a cupboard is important because that was our first marker that we had arrived. We'd started the business, even though it wasn't a cupboard, it was a small office. It was our first step off. But we are three co-founders in this business. So there's myself, Julie, and Paul. So my background, I'm a biochemist originally, background working in pharma and diagnostics for many years, but a lot of my career has been spent in working in hospitals and clinics internationally, selling and marketing into that industry. Julie is a linguist with four languages and a lot of experience in export and communications and marketing. And Paul is our money man, so he's our FD and keeps his hands on the money and keeps us good. So what is the product? So the product is a thermometer, a non-contact thermometer. So I'm going to just show you it here in the video. You've probably seen these on TV or versions on TV. So you simply point the thermometer at the forehead, press the button, and you get a result, and that's your temperature taken. But ours is different from many of the other thermometers you see on TV because ours has been engineered to be used in hospitals. And the two key things for that stipulation are they are robust, so they don't break, and secondly, they are accurate. So they deliver, in many cases, better results than many of the thermometers currently used in our hospitals. But it gives fast, easy, and accurate body temperature reading. All of that was designed here, actually here in Belfast. We have a design team here we work with in Belfast, and manufactured then to meet international manufacturing quality standards. So those standards, we have to obviously have a CE mark to sell the product into the EU, and our notified body is in a German-based notified body, TÜV, and we have all of the accreditations and standards. So ASTM is the international standard that we adhere to for the manufacturing, production, and selling of this product. We as a company as well, it's very unusual for a startup smaller company to go for ISO accreditation, but we felt that it was important that the devices were manufactured to the level of quality that we wanted. So we went through the whole process for the ISO 13485. So the key sort of features of TriTemp are we give the nurse back time. So because it is quick and easy, you simply point at the forehead, press a button, and you get the result. Currently in hospitals, thermometers are taken, you put a plastic cap on, and it's put in your ear, your mouth, or somewhere else. That takes time, that takes nurses' time. Also, the fact that all the other thermometers currently used in hospitals use plastic caps or plastic covers, there's huge costs associated with that. So every time a nurse uses a thermometer, the hospital pays an amount of money per plastic cap. That's the first piece. And the second piece then is they have to pay to dispose of those plastic caps, and that is medical grade waste. The patient with these other thermometers, they have to disturb the patient. With ours, you never touch the patient. So it's zero contact with the patient. 80% of hospital infections are actually carried through contact. So if you can take contact out of the equation, then you can reduce infections. And this is why our thermometer has had such a high profile in hospitals during the COVID pandemic, because you don't touch the patient, there's no risk you can transfer. And then finally, sustainability. We've seen it on the news about the amount of disposal of waste. It's found in our streets and our hospitals and so on. We use zero plastic caps, zero consumables. Therefore, we can reduce that as well, and it's friendlier to the environment. So we are more friendly to the patient, to the user, and to the planet. These thermometers, when they're introduced into a hospital, rolled out across a hospital, and all of our hospitals in Northern Ireland are using these. Certain trusts in Northern Ireland are using only our thermometers for routine use. But these thermometers can save a hospital around 100k a year, just based on the cost savings of plastics and disposal. So there's a significant commercial aspect to this, as well as a very important clinical aspect to it, that you never touch the patient and you don't disturb the patient. So for patients, perhaps oncology patients who are going through chemotherapy and then they are left in the ward to fall asleep, some of the feedback is that they're so disturbed by having a thermometer put in their ear or mouth that can cause them trauma or duress. So this ticks all the boxes for both the patient and the user. So us as a company then, we're very different. Maybe we're not a spin out from any of the universities. We didn't start with a big budget and have a lot of VC investment and so on. We certainly started from a very bootstrap model because we were very fortunate that both with the experience of the co-founders, we had a customer base with a customer need in international markets. So we were able to work with some local investors, angel investors here in Belfast, who thankfully invested in us and got us started. So we established in 2016. And one of the things we wanted to do initially is we knew we had to get our faces out there, our brand out there, and the product out there. When we started in 2016, we didn't have the product yet, but we needed to get the brand and our faces out there. So one of the first things we did was we actually started with the Ulster Bank Accelerator. We have since been on a number of accelerators, and I'll have to say that the Ulster Bank Accelerator was the best step up the ladder to getting our business started. And that was for a lot of key reasons. It was access to networks, access to mentors. John First still is contacted by us regularly, and there's good feedback and communication there. But that was excellent in getting us as a company and a business out there and recognized. We then were, during 2016, we were going through our CE mark and ISO accreditation procedures. So we have a very experienced regulatory team here in the business, and that took a lot of time and also a lot of money, which was very important. Within that year as well, we were the frameworks, which are the purchasing lists that are used by the hospitals in England. They were coming up for renewal for thermometers, so we had a very hard stop of 2017 to have our product to market. So this was the goal at the end of the line. We had to be there. We got our first distributors, started working with them in 2017. Where we had already contact because of our backgrounds. We already had a number of contacts that we'd worked with for years in different capacities out in the market. So we started that off and started presenting some information to hospitals and getting feedback. We had spent around 2 years before we set up the company in 2016 doing a lot of market research. And what we did was we talked to the nurses. The nurses are the people using the device. So we spent a lot of time and effort in the design process of getting an understanding for what the user needs, which is very important to us. So TriTemp was then launched in 2017, October 2017. We got our CE mark, and we were then able to sell, so which was great. We go to once again, putting ourselves out there. We went to the big exhibitions around the world. So Medica is the largest exhibition in Europe, and it takes place in Dusseldorf every year, apart from last year and this year, obviously due to COVID. We have been at Medica every year of our existence. Arab Health is the Arab equivalent of that into the Arab nations, and we visited that, and we had a stand and a booth at that every year as well. And we had these booths at Medica and Arab Health through the support from I&I as well, which was obviously very, very important for us to profile us on the international stage with other companies with medical devices. Very soon in 2017, we were very surprised to find that we had been selected for the Maserati 100. So this, and Sunday Times. So this was actually a group of 100 companies in the UK that were selected as disruptors in their market. And we got that within pretty much our first year of business, which was a great accolade. That meant we were able to carry that on our business cards and a lot of our information, and you'd be surprised just how many people raised that. We went on to many other conferences and took part in many other events. So in the exhibitor of the day at the Royal College of Nursing, it actually took place in 2018 here in Belfast, and we got the exhibitor for the day on the first day. We were also part of the Group British Entrepreneur Awards, where we got some accolades there. We as a company and a group of leaders feel it's very important to ensure that we are always developing our knowledge, not just of the market and the distributors and the customers, but of the models and the technology we need to use within the business. So we took part in the MIT entrepreneur development program, and that was funded through Catalyst, or organized through Catalyst, which was probably one of the best programs I've ever been on, and some of the other two co-founders have been on it since then as well. We then started converting hospitals. So our sort of route to market was to go into hospitals, get a few wards using the devices, which we call seeding the hospitals, and then we go back and we then roll it out across the hospital. So we started getting very sizable hospital conversions all across Europe, the UK, Ireland, Germany, France, where we were rolling that out. So that was starting to pick up real pace and momentum. And then COVID hit in 2020. So what you can see here is a little picture of Rand Turbiddy and Late Show. Our device was actually used in all of the COVID centres in the south of Ireland, and it's in every acute hospital in the south of Ireland as well. And they profiled it on the Late Show one evening, where a nurse was demonstrating use of our thermometer with Rand Turbiddy, which was great and useful for our PR, of course. We have since gone on to develop 21 distributors in about 20 countries, and you can see there, this is the big COVID challenge, and that's another picture of us being on BBC, where it was UCLH in London, and profiling our thermometer in use. So our aim now is to upscale the business rapidly. So in 1 year we went from 5 to 15 people, and we have very aggressive growth plans to bring the business further, and we've also a very active R&D program to build more products into that. And 2021, our focus for this year is the US market. So a few pictures here just to show us. One of the things we believe in is that you have to be in the ground. You have to be out there with customers. You have to be talking to the users. So you can see us at Arab Health in the top left with Alistair, and also us at Medica and some of the other awards that we've been involved with. And in the bottom right corner, that's one of the hospitals in Vienna that have been using our device for about 2 years now, pretty much since we had it. And we've got lots, but we think it's very important to celebrate these and have reminders of these and what we've achieved over the years, not just for us, for the team, to show how far we have come. This is a map of where we're currently selling, but that map's going to be much covered with more green very, very soon as we move into the US market. Okay, our mission as a company is to put patient care at the centre of medical innovation and develop devices that make healthcare workers' lives easier. One of the reasons we started this business, I had a very close relative who at the time was dying of cancer, and one of her key problems was that she was, after chemo all day, she was sitting and lying in the bed, and they used to waken her every 10 minutes to take temperature. And this is very close to my heart, and it's formed part of our mission statement for the whole company. Our vision is to get these thermometers into every hospital in the world. Yes, we mean every hospital. The world's out there, and with technology and reach, that's not a big ask. We have a lot of work to do, but that's what we're aiming at. And really focusing on device performance, because we know we can make the best devices. I think Jim alluded to it earlier. We have such great brains here in Northern Ireland, and certainly when we visit different conferences and so on, we're way up at the top of the queue when it comes to device performance, and also on ability to design and develop new products, and also outstanding user experience. Customers need to know that they are going to be supported through the whole process, and we put a lot of time and effort into that as well. What I will say here is, though, during COVID-19, we were perfectly positioned. So we didn't just spring up because of COVID-19. We had been in operation for years before that. But at that point in time, we had done all the hard work of getting the product designed, delivered to market with, we were able to ramp up our manufacturing. We had a global footprint already. We had logistics teams to turn it around. And also we have online training tools to get the message to the customers. So this is our fabulous team. You can see here. But it was done with a lot of hard work. And this is some of the team in the warehouse getting their hats on. And that includes us. We roll the sleeves up too. Successes of TriMedika, I've put a list here, but there's a lot of successes we've got over the years, thankfully. But the big thing was bringing it from an idea to a product on the market in 18 months was a big coup for us. As I say, we're now in 20 countries. We're now currently developing and moving forward. But one of the other things here is that you need to ensure that you put in the systems and processes on the back end of that, and your CRM, your accounts, your stocking, and so on, so that you can support this when these big things come along. So future of TriMedika, we have to respond to sort of 3 key market drivers: COVID-19, Brexit, and then there's a change in the regulatory piece for medical devices, which is happening this year as we speak. Market diversification for us is a focus. We are looking at connected devices in our R&D program. We're looking at developing a connected version of this device and are talking to key partners on the IoT and the telehealth piece, expand into the US, and also to develop key strategic partnerships. And we're currently talking to international corporates on working with them to develop products and OEM our products too. Future is the business. We will scale the business, the revenue, and also look at our efficiencies, grow the team, and look at rapid commercialization of new products. We can do this quickly. We can get products to market very quickly. And we've now put a whole IP strategy into our process and gathering that. And part of the new normal, as we say, moving out of COVID, is digital marketing and getting the lead generation engine in place. So I'm going to leave here with an ask, because I always ask, put an ask out there, okay? And we have these devices in over 1,000 hospitals internationally. And what we ask anybody that we give presentations to or talk to is, if you see our product, would you send us a wee email, or even better, a photograph of our product in use? So this is what the product looks like on the left, and you can see it being used in one of our local hospitals here in Northern Ireland. So please send them through to us if you see them, because we love to hear and see where the products have got to. Thank you very much.
Roisin, thank you very much. I think I did send Julie an email when I saw one of your thermometers in the Ulster Hospital, so I've done my job. So thank you very much for that. And I think that, you know, we always like to highlight success stories, and I think that is one of them. And you know, I think we all love that ambition of wanting to be in every hospital with something that really does look like it's come from Star Trek. So thank you, Roisin, and well done to you and the team.